Welcome back to the second in a series of special military transition tips videos. If you haven't watched the first one in this series, stop this one, go back and watch that one, then watch this one. Okay? Today I'm going to explain a little bit more about EFT, which stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. It was pioneered in the 80s by a guy called Daniel Craig. Without going too deep into it, it's loosely based on the acupuncture meridians, like from Chinese medicine. But rather than having to know the whole map of the body, we just need to work on the ends of some of these meridians and we tap on them. We'll get into that in a later stage of this video or in the next video. The great thing about EFT is you don't have to believe in it for it to work. I was sceptical myself. I went on the first training course for it just because I was hearing lots of things about it. Everybody was doing EFT. But I went there quite sceptical about it. However, when I was there, I was blown away by the results. I've got a psychoanalytical background, and to get somebody over a fear of heights, would take usually about 6 sessions. With NLP, it's pretty quick. Hypnosis, I wouldn't use suggestion therapy for phobias. That can do it in a session or two, but EFT, I was amazed at how quickly it could work. On the training, we were working on each other, members of the course, and there was a lady there who had a fear of heights. And we were only doing a little bit of this tapping, and although we were 6 floors up, she was able to go over to the window and look out without having any sort of nerves. Okay, she wasn't over her fear of heights completely, but we'd only been working for 5 or 10 minutes. That's when I sat up and thought, there's something in this. And that's why I'm going to teach you the basics of EFT so that you can help yourself. If you want to go deeper into it, then find yourself an EFT therapist and they will be able to take you through it properly. All I'm trying to do is help you alleviate the symptoms with this set of videos. So, I'm not going to give you everything that's going to get you through PTSD, but it is going to help. At least I hope so. In EFT, they refer to the tree metaphor, that your problem could be one big problem that you call anxiety. And this is my interpretation of it anyway, at least. So you've got anxiety, and that is the trunk of the tree, and that is the main bulk of it. Now you could do this tapping technique that you're going to learn soon on anxiety, and it just might keep going on forever and ever, because there's aspects to your anxiety. Some of them will be like the branches of the tree, and you'll be aware of them. It might be that you've got fear of flying, for example. You've got fear of going out. That could be another aspect of an anxiety. So you could be an agoraphobic, or agoraphobic, depending on how you want to pronounce it. You might have a fear of heights. You see, then we can start tapping on the individual problems that are causing the main problem, which is anxiety. But there could be hidden things below the surface. This is where a bit of a background in psychoanalysis can come in handy, because when you're doing an EFT session, you might know where to steer the client. Although it's not so much steering, you just get a feeling for where the problem may really lie. Now these things can be below the surface. As I say, these can be in your unconscious. They could be repressed memories, and when I say repressed, that means that you've got no conscious recollection of the event. This could be when, I don't know, you were slippered. Not that you can do that anymore, but when I was a child you were allowed to be slippered. And it really hurt. But you can't remember that. So that might be one of the reasons that's causing you the anxiety. By tapping away on some of these aspects, as they say, you will fall the tree. So simply put, that's the tree metaphor. You don't need to know all that. I was just explaining it to you. The good thing is you're going to be able to do this at home, because it is going to look weird when you're doing it. My analogy is it's like doing the funky gibbon. Me personally, I have no problem with doing it anywhere. clients probably saw me walking down the street, because when something comes up for you, work on it there and then, and it wouldn't be unknown to see me walking my dog down the street doing some weird sort of tapping. But that's because I'm not too concerned about what other people think about me. If I want to get rid of something that's been bothering me for years, I'm going to tap on it. I'm not suggesting that you need to. You can do it nice at home without any embarrassment, but it is going to look strange when you first do it if you've not come across EFT before. So we're going to move on to that in a moment. I'm going to now put up a picture where you can see the actual tapping points. If you would like a copy of the picture with the tapping points, I'm thinking of turning these videos into some sort of booklet, PDF type thing. So when I've actually edited this video, you'll probably find that there's details of how to get that. So you can just email me and I will send you a free copy of this guide. It might just be the pictures, it might be more, I don't know yet, but you can at least get a copy of the picture of the tapping points to use at home, rather than having to pause this video and go, oh, where's them tapping points? But I am going to run through them with you very shortly so that you can follow along, and we're going to do a very basic, the simple procedure for EFT. Okay, you've seen that picture and you've requested one maybe as well. And by the magic of editing, I've drawn another picture of the tapping points and I've put up the setup phrase, which I'm going to talk about now. When we do this tapping, which we're going to run through in a moment, we need a setup phrase, which goes along the lines of, even though you name the problem, I deeply and completely love and accept myself, which you do whilst you're tapping on the karate chop point, but we'll go into that in a moment. Now, you may not love and accept yourself, so you might just want to say, I deeply and completely accept myself. If you don't accept yourself at all, for whatever reason, then you could say alternatively, even though, well, the problem is, other than that, I'm fine. Now, just an example, let's just say it's feeling angry. So you go, even though I'm feeling angry, I deeply and completely accept myself. And you'd say this setup phrase 3 times. So it would go, even though I'm feeling angry, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I'm feeling angry, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I'm feeling angry, other than that, I'm fine. So that's the setup phrase. Then when we move into tapping on these other points, we just use whatever the problem is. So we'd move on to the crown point and go feeling angry. Now I'm going to run through the points on myself so that you can see them. We have the crown up here. Then we have the eyebrow point, which is on the bone just there at the start of your eyebrow. Unless you're a werewolf and your eyebrows meet in the middle, but if your eyebrow starts there, on the bone. The next point is at the side of the eye, on the bone again, level with your pupil coming across if you're looking straight ahead. Still looking straight ahead, come down and on the socket again, that is the next tapping point. Under the nose, the chin point. Now the other point here, the collarbone, is where you've got that V-shaped bit. If you push in, come across, and as it rises up, come down about diagonally an inch, and there's the tapping point. However, what I tend to do is use a few fingers on that point, then I'm going to get it. Underarm, this is the next point. So here, if you're a lady or a cross-dresser, you might be wearing a bra, so it's where your bra strap is. If you're not wearing a bra, it's under the armpit, about there. Okay? The next point is on the wrist. You can tap on the fingers, but since all the meridians go through the wrist, it's about where the creases are on your wrist, come up about an inch. Now I've got a tattoo, so I know exactly where I tap for that point. And we've already mentioned the karate chop, which is here. There's another part to EFT called the 9 gamut, and we are going to demonstrate that because that can speed things up if just the basic tapping technique isn't working for you. And when you're doing the 9 gamut, you tap on this point here, between those two knuckles, so you'd be tapping there. Okay? So that's the basic sequence for EFT. I think I've pretty much covered everything. One important thing that I nearly forgot is to use your own descriptive words. Anger. I'm feeling angry. Well, you're probably going to say something worse. You might say you're peed off. You might say you're effing angry. Whatever it is that you're feeling at the time, in the moment as well, use those descriptive words. Another thing you've got to do is use what they call the SUD scale. Excuse me. Before you start the tapping, you've got to assess how intense the emotion is, or the pain, because this works with physical pain as well. This is where I was first sold, actually, because I'd hurt my thumb and I thought I'd give it a go, did some tapping, and it's like, wow, it actually works, my thumb's not hurting anymore. So you go, right, on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being extreme, 0 no problem at all, where am I right now on that emotional level or pain level? You know, my thumb was about a 6 at the time. Did a round of tapping, did the 9 gamut, another round of tapping, and it had gone completely. The whole pain, I was like, yeah, it's gone. So before you start, measure it and give yourself a number. So it might be a 6 out of 10. You do a round of tapping, you might find it comes down to a 4. So in the case of I'm angry, it might be, alright, gone from a 6 down to a 4. The second round of tapping becomes, even though I'm still a little angry. You don't need to know all these sort of things. If you really wanted to get into EFT, go and see somebody, but you'll get a rough idea to be able to help yourself in the present moment whenever you're suffering. And if you use this technique, you might decide you want to go and learn more and do the training yourself. That's it. Yep, we're going to go into an actual demonstration now of the basic technique for EFT. So I'll be back in a second.